Merry meet everybody, it's Rowan here again. I said in my previous video, or the one before that actually, that I was going to do my Serenity Incense blend for you guys, so that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so in my mortar and pestle, I'm not entirely sure if you guys can see that. Yeah, you can. Brilliant. I've already ground up some frankincense. Now when I say frankincense, sorry, that was it works out to a teaspoon of frankincense, but from here on out, whenever I say a part is a tablespoon, and bear with me, I need to go and get my tablespoon measure because it's not here. Got it. I am Miss Unprepared today. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to sit our frankincense in our oak bowl. These are the bowl and platter that I had made for me by Kevin, along with the mortar and pestle, that I actually use them on a daily basis. So the next thing that's going to go in is chamomile flowers, or chamomile flowers, however you'd like to say it. So put that in there. Now it doesn't make a huge batch. The last batch of this that I made, I got 3 jars of this size out of it, and it looks really, really pretty once it's all done. So I'm just going to check you guys can still see me. Yes, you can. Brilliant. And then you just kind of, you don't have to go mad. I don't know if this is like rocking the camera around. You don't have to go mad with crushing, but you do just want to break up. This mortar and pestle is really, really good because it's, I don't know if you guys can hear, because it's the sugar maple, it's really, really hard. And because it's a loose incense, I forgot to say actually, this is for a loose incense blend, so it's just going to be sprinkled on charcoal discs. I like to get my hands in there and work them into, so it doesn't need to be like overwhelmingly broken up. There you go. Well, that'll do for that one. And then the next is rosebuds. They go in next. Now, to get a tablespoon of the rosebuds once they're crushed, because the ones that I got, you have to take the little, like the, get it to come out now. Okay, I'm just going to have to break this one off. There we go, it's called, I don't know what it's called, it's like the base of the rose petal where it would be next to the stem. I use about 5, depending on their size. And they're so dry that they break up really easily. Let's have these ones. There we go. Okay. Forgive me if I sound a bit distracted every now and again. I'm looking at the clock because I'm getting ready to go to Moira's practice tonight. Then you just break them up. As I said, you don't need to worry about getting them crushed into a dust because it's a loose incense. I mean, obviously it depends how fine you want it, but for me, I like a fair bit of texture in my loose incense. That's just what I'm used to. There we go, so that's that all ground up. in there as well. And then next, oops, going to add a teaspoon actually of crushed thyme. That unfortunately is not my thyme, it's Sainsbury's thyme, but it's thyme nonetheless. And then I'm going to put a tablespoon of lavender oil. I'm really intently looking for wooden measuring cups and measuring spoons. I particularly want wooden measuring cups, but finding them anywhere is proving virtually impossible. I'm tempted to ask Kevin, the friend that made these for me, to make some, but I'm not sure how much of a technical challenge it would be, because obviously you're going to want them precise because they're measuring cups, and if your measurements are not precise, your recipes are not going to be precise. Don't know what that was. So yeah, I'm on the lookout for those. If anybody sees any or spots any, holler, tell me and let me know. So that's the lavender part. Next is just a small pinch of mugwort. When I say a small pinch, I mean like that much. It's really not a lot. Really not a lot. Forgive me sniffing. I seem to have sniffles today. Oh, okay, that doesn't crush. Okay, so we use my fingers. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So actually a really good way of getting some extra intent in there is to get in there and use your hands. That's mugwort in there. And now over here I've got some dried peppermint. And you want about 3 sprigs, branches, I don't know, whatever the term is. So you take the leaves off, and then, so that's peppermint, and that grinds up super easy. We like peppermint. And I don't know if you can see, it's making, this mortar and pestle is making light work of pretty much everything that's going in. And then next we have a tablespoon of safflower. I don't crush the safflower because it's pretty dusty as is. You see the colour of that compared to what's already in there. Oh, beautiful! If you hadn't already worked out, I use a lot of weird voices and accents. It's because I'm crazy. And then next is 6 juniper berries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what? So every now and again something gives you a bit of a holler from upstairs, from the powers that be, and just says, no, we'll do that a bit differently. And that said to do 9 instead of 6. So there we go. And you don't want to like crush these to oblivion. You just want to break them up a little bit, like get into the guts of them. Because what's really nice with this recipe is that, if you can hear me, is that it will kind of, when it's mixed, you get kind of potluck teaspoons. You're never really quite sure of what's going to come out in your measurings. Okay, and then next is a quarter, so 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. So that's it for all the dry ingredients in there. And now I just take both hands and I just give it a row and charging. And it's a good way to pick out any huge lumps. And I like to kind of pat it all down. And I charge that and then go around clockwise. And you'll probably tell the tone of my voice just changes when it comes to putting any kind of intent into anything that I'm doing. My voice drops and spirit comes through. That's the personal power that I was talking of as well. Just comes through. There we go. And then the last thing that I do is I add a few little bits of essential oil. So I'm going to add 3 drops of lavender. 1, 2, come on, 3. Sometimes it doesn't want to play. And then 3 drops of rose. Just shake this one. And then 3 drops of rosemary. 1, 2, 3. Nearly had 4. Put that one on me. And then again, you just want to stir it and move it around and make sure that that's all picking up the oils and all the herbs are coming in together. And again, just channeling your intent. For me, because this is a Serenity blend, and when I was first making this random batch a while ago, right, this is a reasonably new recipe. I didn't have a name or an intent in mind behind making an incense. I just started mixing. It's kind of how I do my cooking. I just grab an armful of ingredients and trust my intuition because it's kick-ass and it rocks. And as I was putting together these ingredients, I was writing them down. And as I was putting them together, I was noticing how my emotions were changing and how my general feeling was changing, and that I was becoming really, really relaxed, very serene. And the minute the word serene came into my head, I was like, that's it, it's a Serenity blend, there we go. And it is, it's quite fresh, it's very floral, quite earthy. It's just an amazing smell. And there we go. So that's the incense, guys. Don't know if you can see that properly. It's absolutely beautiful. Now I leave that to sit on my altar. And it's perfect that I'm doing that today because it can sit tonight, which is full moon, and then tomorrow I will jar that up and it's just for burning on discs. So there we go, guys. I'll put the recipe down in the description box below. Hope you all enjoyed it, and blessed be.